proudly presents the 2012 Teen Masters. Brought to you by Ebonite, Bowl to Win. And by Dexter. And by Kegel. And we're just about to go laneside with Mike J. laneside and Elise Bolton with coverage of our third match of the day. Mike J., what is going on down there?
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Grand Central Terminal. We're live around the world on Extra Frame online bowling channel. Mike J. laneside alongside a three-time Team USA member and a bowler at the University of Nebraska, Elise Bolton. Elise, we have had two firecracker matches right from the start.
Yeah, it's been enjoyable to watch this. It's some good bowling. I know it's more fun to end like that, though. It's exciting for the crowd, so some good bowling out here today.
Some really good bowling as we've had our first two best of twos come down to sudden death roll-offs, and now we move ahead in the boys division, and we have our first look at Greg Young and Jacob Ettinger.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great match. I'm excited to see. I believe they're bowling on a different pattern, so it'll be exciting to see how that breaks down on the lane compared to what they've been bowling on the last two matches.
And we will have more from Elise laneside in between games and after the match. And we're very excited to bring you this live competition, the Teen Masters Grand Championships, live right behind me, 42nd Street here at Grand Central Terminal. Jason Thomas, back to you.
Thank you, Mike J. And we're going to be joined this match by a special guest. He was the #1 seed in the boys division. We saw him bowl earlier today, and unfortunately lost a tight match with Aaron Uratovich. Cameron Doyle, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm good. I'm good. So we're going to get a close look at your next opponent here in this upcoming match. I'm sure you're going to be an interested party.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to how he plays the lanes and what I'm going to have to do different against him when it's our time to bowl.
All right, looks like he's got some surface on that ball there, Cameron.
Yeah.
They're going to bowl on the long pattern this match.
I'm not so sure about that because back ends are so strong. I'm thinking I would go with something a little shinier just so it doesn't burn up in the back, but I don't know. See how it works.
So do you guys have access to spinners or Abralon pads or anything like that?
There's a room that has a spinner, some bevel knives, some Abralon pads, all that good stuff.
Very cool. So so what do you think we're going to see on this long pattern? How do you think they're going to be playing the lanes?
Well, generally on the long, you want to play in for as long as possible. I think the scores are going to be way, way lower. I say 180, 185 wins this game, and they're just going to migrate left.
And both of these young guys have a pretty high rev rate, do they not?
Oh yeah. I think Greg's about 480, maybe 500. Not sure though. I'm not so sure about Jacob, but I think the advantage is Greg.
Kind of looks like a young Pete Weber.
Yep.
And you kind of look like a young Pete Weber yourself, so fairly similar styles. You guys kind of a little bit of rivals. You've grown up in the same part of the country, and you've been to the top 14-year-olds of all time, and you guys know each other pretty well, don't you?
Oh yeah. Usually when we're bowling, we get lined up off each other because we're so similar. A lot of people say our tilt's the same. His rev rate just a little higher, so we're good friends. Hope to see him win this one.
He's 2 years older. You've got 2 years to catch up with your rev rate. All right, so who do you like in this match, Cameron? You like Greg's chances a little better or Jacob's? And why?
Well, I think Jacob will win the first game on the fresh, but when they break down, I think it's all Greg because his ability to move in and squirt the ball through the fronts and get it to pop on the back.
And then in a roll-off, it's anybody's game, right?
Yeah, it's anyone's game.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure it'll be tied. I don't think anyone will go 2-0.
Well, here we go. First shot of the match, Jacob Ettinger against Greg Young. Looks like Jacob's trying to play him a little bit further to the right.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And there's no mistake area to the right when you play that far. You've really got to play the hold.
Yeah. All he really got's shim, a little bit of shim, but on these lanes there's not much. So I don't know what he's doing out there.
And we're joined in the booth now by Elise Bolt. Wow, tough break on the spare. And, we've got some Teen Masters alumni and Teen Masters competitors, and we've got a lot of Teen Masters experience. I never bowled the Teen Masters. I'm too old, unfortunately. Didn't make the cut.
I've actually bowled it a couple years, and the first 3 years I bowled it, I missed the cut every year by like 2 pins. So it was actually exciting last year to actually make a final.
Well, I know about missing those kind of cuts as well. First shot for Greg Young. He's a lot deeper. Destroys that rack.
That's what I'm saying. I think he has the advantage.
Well, I noticed on the sidelines that he was taking a dull ball and trying to burn up some area to create more hold for himself.
Yeah, he's so far in. It's just, I don't know. If he stays that far in, I don't think Jacob has a chance. They're going to have to leapfrog each other.
So it's like you said, you thought Greg would definitely have the advantage in game two. And he's
yeah.
trying to make game 2 happen in game 1 by throwing all that surface.
Hook.
Looks like just a little bit better shot. He kept it tighter, and but he doesn't have a lot of room out there.
No, no one does.
So I noticed the carry was a little bit muted here. Pins aren't flying around like they normally do in the bowling center. I think a little bit of that is because the kickboards aren't side by side like they are in the bowling center, so they don't bounce as hard, and the pins don't fly across the deck like they do in a normal bowling center.
Yeah, it's different. You got to be dead on to strike. There's no lucky stuff.
You have to throw a good shot every time.
Yeah. Looks like Greg's mind is in game 5 right now of a regular block. So now I'm thinking he has the advantage both games.
Well, all it takes is one errant shot or one bad break, and things can turn around in a hurry. You can lose your field just like that, especially when the lanes are this difficult. But we'll see what happens if Jacob can put some pressure on Greg. I mean, it looked like he got that one significantly inside of the last one.
Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't go Brooklyn.
Yeah. And so maybe he's got a little something out there. He's off to a little bit of a slow start with an open in the first, and Greg jumped on him with the double, but could be a good match.
Yeah, Jacob's a good spare shooter, so I don't think that's going to be the problem for him. It's just whoever throws the most strikes.
I'll get a little side profile of Greg Young's approach. He's the tallest player in the field. He's, what is he, 6'2"?
Something like
He's
that.
a big, tall guy. He won the under 14 division 2 years ago. And Greg not having the carry problems that we saw some of the other players so far.
No, because I think he has the highest rev rate out of all the boys, so.
So now you must be thinking a little bit about ahead to your match with Greg.
Yeah.
Seeing what you're seeing now, I mean, is it making you think going on the short?
I don't know about picking long anymore. I don't know. We'll see how he does when it breaks down.
Well, you got to see him break down once. So now you think you'll be a little bit more well prepared when game 2 starts? It looked like you kind of lost it in the beginning of game 2 and then figured it out towards the end.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mainly just threw the wrong ball too long. It was good the first game, then it started to, my pursuit started to burn up in the back, so I was on and off the Cyclone, the pursuit, and then the 10th frame I threw really good shots with the Cyclone, then I stuck with it, There were two good shots in the roll off. Missed in just a hair, 4-pin, and Aaron didn't throw that good of a shot, but got away with it.
Wow. Greg's eating him up, guys.
I would say that burnt ball was definitely a strategy. We were all talking about that. We didn't know really what he was doing with it, but obviously it's what he wanted to do.
Yeah, it's something we definitely see out on tour quite a bit, especially on TV day when the higher rev rate players, they'll try to create that situation where they're getting to game 5 or 6 in a block, like they would in a qualifying block. They want to burn the lanes up as fast as they can so that they can get to the point where they have the advantage.
Yeah, like if you draw Belmo late in the day, you better just go ahead and pack up. You're pretty much done.
Yes, that's true.
Did he strike?
He did. He did strike. In fact, here's a look at our scoreboard. And Ettinger has a double, 49 in the third and a double, and Greg Young yet to miss, front 4. Wow. He's having no trouble getting that 6-pin to take out the 10. And he's pretty deep. I mean, he's pretty deep for a fresh lane. I mean,
yeah,
it's tough to get the 10 out when you're that deep.
Saw Cameron struggle with that a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Well, yours were more kind of rollout flat 10s, whereas, you know, I don't think there's ever going to be a situation where you're going to leave, you know, flat 10 by getting the ball in and the ball not picking up on this. Good shot there, fast 8. So you could see Jacobs just got maybe.
He's got maybe 2-3 boards to play with. Greg has like 5-6.
Yeah, and his pocket's bigger too.
Yeah.
So when you have more boards on the lane to play with and your pocket's bigger, generally that's a good thing for you.
Yeah.
Well, no trouble at the spare. But unfortunately, spares aren't going to help at this point. Greg Young has the front 5. And he can take a 53-pin lead here with one more strike, and that would pretty much be it for this first game. Well, there we
that
go.
Went a little out.
What was that?
I jinxed him.
210.
210, yeah.
He didn't seem to get around the ball as good that shot as he has the last couple shots.
Yeah, it didn't stay on his hand as long. It looked like it got off his hand a little quick, and he didn't catch it. And
he knew it right off his hand.
Yeah. So Greg Young opening the door just a little bit here for Jacob Ettinger.
I have a feeling he's going to make this, though.
Yeah, he. Oh.
Nope.
Almost got the bounce off the wall.
Did you see I called the Big 4 conversion a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, I saw that.
Nice.
Like the Lucy.
Yeah. Of course, it was Sean Rash, so anything's easy to call with him.
I'm like, no way he's going to call this. I'm like, did he know already and then just go back and talk?
But, you know, you get the feelings. Get those feelings that you just had on the 210, even though sometimes.
Yeah,
if you say it 99 times, you know, eventually you'll be right once.
Well, pins bounce. It seems like the pins are bouncy here. Like out of the back. Not side to side, just
against the glass on the back.
Yeah,
okay.
like I thought I had a chance at the 810.
Oh, right. Yeah, I saw that. I noticed that. You could tell by the body language that you were hoping that it would bounce out.
Yeah.
Now the plexiglass is there for the safety of the
yeah, it makes that's
volunteers.
A big factor.
Yeah, setting the pins.
I popped it out, just not the right direction.
Well, that's something to look for in the future. I mean, How cool it would be to make a 7-10 to win
To
the
win
Teen
thing.
Masters.
Oh, I was just about to say that. That'd be so sweet. I'd probably like get so excited I'd fall off the ledge and break my leg or something.
Well, two bad ones in a row. The ball gets off his hand.
That's what's happening. Greg's so far left, he's just pushing all that oil down. But you'd think Jacob's ball to the right would help it recover, but I guess not.
Yeah, I mean, there's two things happening. Jacob's making the fronts drier, and he's making the back tighter. So if Greg gets the ball right quick, that would help. And a great spare conversion there. But if he's getting the ball out late, he's going to catch some of that carry down, and it's not going to make it around the corner.
Yep.
And that's why players like Belmonte and Oskew are so good, is they can get around, they can get left further than anybody and still get the ball around and to the dry and back.
Yeah,
and
it's stupid pretty much how they can do that. Belmo absolutely dominated this year. Surprised him and Rash. I mean, surprised Belmo. Really, Belmo didn't win Player of the Year.
Jacob pretty close. Yeah, it was a great race, and I'm sure it's going to continue into this season. I know Belmo is determined to come back this year and give it his best, and I know Sean doesn't want to give up the top spot, so
no.
Something's got to give.
What do you have to say about the new schedule?
Well, it's going to give us a lot more tournaments. There's a lot more continuity between the World Bowling Tour and the PBA Tour, which is nice. The players won't have as many breaks in between tournaments. There's going to be stuff for them to bowl all year round. And the biggest thing out of it is I hope we get to go to exotic locales throughout the world and cover live stream bowling on Extra Frame.
Stinks though for me for one part, because I was going to bowl the U.S. Open again. I was looking forward to it in February, and then they moved it to July, so I'm going to be all over the place. Go straight from Junior Gold to U.S. Open. But I am going to bowl the Masters this year.
Okay.
So.
Well, you've already done the U.S. Open. You got a check. You already conquered that tournament.
I'm looking for top 24 this year.
I think it's cool how they combine the women and the men this year for the U.S. Open.
Yeah, that is a good thing, and
it's a bigger event, more prestigious altogether.
Good try there on the split, but doesn't quite convert it, and gives Greg 172 in the 8th, and now it's a match. Jacob Ettinger.
Yeah, 15-pin lead for Greg going into the.
There's a look at the scoreboard there. Jacob Ettinger can strike out for 217. Greg Young on a 212 pace, so not over yet.
Pulled it.
All right, so here's the story. Jacob Ettinger makes his spare. He can go off the sheet for 204. That would force Greg Young to mark twice in the 9th and 10th.
But if he misses this, it's pretty much over this game.
Wow. Good spare. Not the easiest spare in the world on this. You get it a little right, and that ball's never going to pick up, and you get it left, and it's going to chop it.
That is my biggest fear. When I leave that 3-6-10, I just go back and want to go ahead and put 7-1 because I cannot make that thing.
I always tell people I'd rather shoot the 310 than put the 6 pin
I'd
in
rather
there.
shoot the 710 than shoot that.
All right, well, Greg Young trying to lock up the match here. Strike here would sure help. Much better shot.
So Jacob can throw all 3 to force Greg to mark.
That's correct. So yeah, basically, if he doesn't strike on these next 2 shots, Greg Young's going to go up 1-0 in the match.
Yep. Pulled
That's
it again.
in, yeah. Yep. Doesn't get the break, and Greg Young's going to take a 1-0 lead.
If Jacob just stays there, I don't know. It's pretty much Greg's game.
This is a very important spare to make here because now he's going to want to get one more look at what he's going to try to do going into the next game. Greg Young looks like he's got it figured out. He just has to execute.
Yep.
Jacob, I think he could afford to make a little bit of a move here and try to find something.
Oh.
And he missed the spare. Wow.
Right,
now he doesn't get the chance to have a test shot.
I'm going to sign off and go try to get an interview with the guys after this match.
All right. We will send it down to Elise in just a moment. But first, Greg Young finishing up his game. And looks like he's got that really sanded ball out.
Yeah,
and
he's going to try something.
Do some more work on the lanes.
I think he's going to try to mess Jacob up even more. You can see there's absolutely nothing out there. Actually, if Jacob would have made that, and Greg would have done 5-1,
yeah,
Jacob would have won.
Right. But then again, Greg wouldn't have thrown that other ball.
Yeah.
But you never know. I mean, Ashley Dunn left the Greek Church to lose her match and was fortunate to be able to get through that match with a win. So, final score in this game.
182.
182 for Jacob Ettinger.
198.
And 198 for Greg Young. Not the best score in the world with the front 5, but it's enough to win, and that's all that matters is taking a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, I've had front 5 at Junior Gold 2 years ago and shot 170.
It's okay. It happens to all of us.
Yeah, but that's pretty bad. You got 140 in the 5th frame and you shoot 170.
I once saw a guy go the front 10 and shoot, or front 8 and shoot 210.
And now we'll send it down lane side. And Elise Bolton has both of our combatants. Elise.
All right, so this is our first look at long out here at Grand Central. What are you guys seeing out there on the lanes?
There's definitely a shot out there if you make good moves. If you miss your moves, it's not going to go well.
Yeah, it's definitely breaking down quick, so quick moves and quick adjustments are necessary to throw good shots, definitely.
Now, Greg, you started out strong, and then you had a couple frames in there in between that weren't as great as your first one. So what happened?
I started throwing it hard for 2 shots, but the 3rd shot I threw it good, just missed the move.
All right, now what do you think your key is for next game?
Just to really relax and, take my time and throw good shots. Simple as that.
All right, game 2. Back to you guys.
Thank you. That's Elise Bolton working the sidelines for us today. Mike J. Laneside with Cameron Doyle and the bowling guy as we move on to game number 2. Best of 2 game matches. Ettinger's got to win here in game 2 to force a roll-off for a chance at that point.
I mean, when Elise is doing these interviews, guys, it seems like either they're seasoned pros and they're just blasé about everything, or they're really, really nervous. Cameron, maybe you could shed some light on that. What are you feeling out there?
I used to hate interviews, and past year I've probably done 494 million, and I've gotten way more comfortable. Like, I used to hate coming up here and having to talk in this, but now it's fun.
Right.
But I still didn't want to come up here because I lost and wasn't in a very good mood. But it's fine. I'm just going to try to learn from these guys and see what I got to do.
Well, I got something for you that might put you in a slightly better mood. Your pop stopped by, and there's a lunch right behind you. So.
Sweet. Oh, can you hand me that?
Thought that might put a smile on your face.
Can you hand me that? What is it?
What couldn't it be? I mean, you can get pretty much anything within a 7-iron up here.
Oh, yeah. And let's get that the happy face bag. Have a nice day. We'll have to share with the folks at home what Cameron Doyle's eating for lunch.
Hopefully something that makes me strike.
Well, there's a look there. Greg Young in the red shirt. He's just walked outside the... there he is. He's up 1-0 over Jacob Ettinger. He's Cameron Doyle's next opponent. Trying to close out the match with a win here in Game 2.
You switch back to the Cyclone. Guys, he is far left. I don't know if it's too far left, but he is deep.
Well, quick opening there, and that's kind of just what you want to see if you're Jacob Ettinger, and like we saw in your match, the change of fortune.
Oh yeah, I thought I had a good shot the first game. 204 to 190 or so, and it just can turn on you so quick. No, 6-1.
6-1 in the first frame for Young.
Well, now Jacob, this is the kind of interesting thing. Jacob knows he doesn't have much of a ball reaction. But if Greg doesn't put pressure on him, and he can just make spares and keep the ball in play, he can win this match, and that's all he needs to do to get to the roll-off. So
yeah,
a lot of what he ends up doing this game strategy-wise will depend on how well Greg Young bowls and how much pressure he puts on him.
I don't know still why he's so far right. I don't know if he's just staying there to mess Greg up or just staying there to. I really don't know.
If you just joined us, you're watching live coverage of the Teen Masters Grand Championships. We're at Grand Central Terminal in New York, in Vanderbilt Hall, outside the largest train station in the world. And that is Greg Young, 195-182 winner in Game 1, this best of 2 match. Mike J. Laneside with the bowling guy. He is Jason Thomas, 3-time member of Team USA. Elise Bolton joins our crew today. And also joining us in the color commentator chair is Cameron Doyle, competing in this event. And the winner will earn a $64,000 college scholarship tomorrow, live on Extra Frame. So spare for Young. He's got an open and a spare, and a 1-game lead here in the best of 2. Best of 2 works like this. If the players split the 2 games, we'll have a sudden death roll-off. And Cameron, you faced a sudden death roll-off in your match.
Yeah, it's not the funnest thing in the world. It can be anyone's game. I mean, you throw one bad shot, you get a bad break, you get 8 or 9, then your opponent could go up there, throw a bad shot, and get lucky.
So Jacob Ettinger down 0-1 in this match, needs to force a roll-off here with a win in Game 2.
There you go.
Stayed down on it pretty right there.
Yeah, he moved in a little bit. I think he's just going to chase it in from now.
So Ettinger's clean spare strike in the second. 13-pin lead early here in Game 2. Needs to beat this gentleman, Greg Young, to force the roll-off. Girls action coming up next here live on Extra Frame. The number 2 seed Haley Rubin out of Brandon, South Dakota will take on the number 3 seed Jessica Davies from Cape Coral, Florida. So Young now up 3rd frame, Game 2.
Yeah, I think you're right, Cameron. I think he just tried to get too far left too quickly.
Yeah, he's playing them opposite. Like, I thought he'd be farther right the first game, and I thought he'd be right here. Or just a little right of it the second game, but he squirreled it up so much the first game. There's really nowhere to go but right. Just a little bit, though.
So do you think he moves right, or do you think he stays where he is and
I
maybe
think
softens up a little? And
I think he's going to stay where he is and just do something different with his hand.
yeah, there's no such thing as softening up when you're a 16-year-old strapping 6'2" youth like Greg Young.
Well, we talked about Greg growing, and you are growing yourself, and that's got to affect balance and timing and some things as you get a little taller.
Yeah, you really don't know. Like, I couldn't feel myself, but a lot of people told me I was getting way taller. But I really didn't know. But I have noticed some changes, some difficult times. About 3-4 months ago, I wouldn't have too good of a time. Took me about a month to get things straightened out. So yeah, it's a big factor when you're getting taller, I guess.
Wow, that's the second time he's done that.
That's my signature. I do that every time.
That's one of the worst breaks you can get in the sport. He's taking it like a man, though. If it were me, I'd be whining and crying and stomping all over the place, making a fool out of myself. I mean, he's got to know Greg's not exactly rolling him over right now, so this match is still well within his reach.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. Like when you're so far that left, it's hard to get the corners out.
Yeah, he wasn't having too much trouble the first game, but now that he's gotten even deeper and he's got to slow the ball down to get it back.
And like when he's doing bad, he says he tends to throw it harder, so that might be the problem.
That extra speed is what kicks out that 10 pin.
Yeah.
When you soften up, the pins don't fly around as much, and when the walls are dead like they are here on this specially constructed lane, because there aren't other kickboards on the sides of those to hold it in place, it's hard to get those pins to fly around.
Yeah, that was probably my hardest thing to get to carry, because I think I throw it the slowest out of the 4 guys.
Ettinger up 48 open through 3. Fourth frame.
That's a good shot.
Slaps off the 10. So Ettinger strike in the second and fourth. The one lane configuration, Cameron, that's interesting here at Grand Central Terminal. Don't have to worry about a left-right situation.
Yeah, it's also easier, but it's way harder at the same time, because normally when you're fighting 2 lanes, you got to make adjustments on both lanes. Now it's just 1 lane, and you don't have to move around. But also, you get 2 guys on 1 lane, and they're squirreling the place up like nobody's business. I think it's about the same as 2 lanes. But being up there, I think I've noticed that the approach was like a foot shorter, so I wasn't able to get as much momentum as I usually do in my approach. So it's definitely weird. Got to adapt to what's up there.
That's interesting.
Like, I'd normally stand 6 inches behind that wall, but my heels were right on it.
Huh. Interesting.
Ettinger up 14. He trails by a game. He needs this game 2 to force the roll-off. It's a best-of-2 match. If the players split, sudden death roll-off determines the point. On a strike, 5th frame.
Yeah, he's definitely moved in.
Double increases the lead to 24.
Also, he might have been playing that far right, not caring if he won or lost, just to give him a good chance for the second game. That's what I do a lot, but I don't want to take that risk here.
Ettinger strike in each of the 4th and 5th. Now leads by 24 over Greg Young. Young on a strike and cut the lead back to 14 with a double here, 6th frame. Flat 10.
Yeah, I mean, you guys aren't used to seeing a lot of flat 10s, and with your rev rates and your ability to create angle, but it's something you're going to have to deal with here, and sometimes it's not the worst thing in the world.
No. Well, when both people are doing it, it's not that bad.
And when you got a guy throwing the front 5 at you like Aaron did in your match, but I mean, in a way that kind of helped you, because it just let you throw the match away and just take as many risks as you needed.
By the 4th, 5th frame, I was done with that. I was just trying to figure out stuff.
And you did make a great adjustment there at the end.
God, I just want to take that shot back.
The 4-pin, you mean?
Yeah, if I just would have thrown a board right, not even a board, maybe half a board, I would have carried that thing. And it makes you even more mad when your opponent doesn't throw his best shot.
He basically threw the same.
He threw the same.
shot.
Not to be mean or anything, but I think he threw it worse than I did and just got a little lucky.
Right.
So Ettinger triples. And in each of our matches, we've seen each player win a game, and we've had roll-offs in each of our matches thus far.
And it's looking like it's going to happen again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try to be the first one to go 2-0 tonight. I need it. Because if I don't win tonight, I don't have a shot to be in the finals tomorrow.
That's right, because that would mean you'd be best you could do is 1 and 2.
Yep.
And somebody is going to be 2 and 1 if you're 1 and 2.
Yep. So right now, Aaron just has to win one more. If he wins tonight, he's in the finals of the boys. And if I win tonight, I got to win one more tomorrow to get into the finals. Oh yeah, this is. Yep.
Yeah,
I know it's gonna happen.
When somebody says push and the ball listens and hits dead flush, you know they've got some room.
He's pretty good when he gets locked in.
Scoreboard tells a story. Number 2 seed Jacob Ettinger down a game, but up in this game against Greg Young. With a win here in game 2, he'd force the roll-off. Mike J. Laneside with a competitor of this year's Teen Masters Grand Championships, the number 1 seeded Cameron Doyle, and the bowling guy Jason Thomas in the booth. Oh, tough break.
I would not be surprised if he makes this. If he hits it in the right place.
All right, here we go.
I want to see it.
Here we go. Are you calling it? Are you
I don't know if I'm calling it, but there's a good possibility.
Okay.
Because usually when I call stuff, I look stupid when it doesn't happen.
Join the club.
But if he makes it, I called it.
No.
Oh, he tried something.
Went for the strike ball.
That was interesting. He moved way right and tried something out there, and that might have been just as much to mess up Jacob as it was to try to find something different, because he's got the pocket right now.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do in practice. I was taking my spare ball and just like slow hooking it like 5 miles an hour. It was just coming right over the top of it, trying to mess Aaron up. But it worked good the first game. Then he got through it.
It's a 4 in a row working here for Ettinger. And we'll get a stray bit of noise.
Looks like someone dropped a pin. You could hear a pin drop.
Yeah, I saw it.
And believe me, with the acoustics in this amazing Vanderbilt Hall, just looking up, all of 25, 30 feet ceilings in marble, and it can echo quite a bit. But a reset and a 4 in a row for Ettinger now in the 8th frame.
It's distracting up there. Like my second frame of the first game, this lady, she kept taking pictures. The flash was off, but I could hear the clicking, and it just irritated the crap out of me. And I told someone to tell her to please stop, and she did.
So now you know why Tiger gets upset when he hears that in
Tiger
his
goes
backswing.
punch someone.
He usually has his caddy do that.
Yeah, but then you hear the sirens outside and the people coming in. It's unreal how distracted you could get.
So, gentlemen, we're going to have another roll-off here to decide who gets this point.
I bet Rash would go off on some people here.
He might not throw a shot.
No. He'd balk 8 times in a row.
Hey, the never-ending argument of where do you want to be in a roll-off when you have the choice? Do you prefer to lead off? Yep, you don't even hesitate.
No. Put all the pressure on my opponent. But also at the same time, if they pick, I don't mind being second because I know what I can do. I know I can go up there and throw a good shot.
There was a stunning lack of hesitation in that decision.
Yeah.
All right, Ettinger's up in the 9th, finishing off. Would like to stay in the groove, preparing himself for a roll-off here to earn a point. Comes up a shade high.
If Greg gets to pick, I think he'll pick to go first also.
Sounds like my family's arrived, Mike J. I can hear kids screaming all over the station.
Somebody was not happy with that last shot from Jacob Ettinger. Shooting a spare here in the ninth. Match game 2 well in hand. And on our way to our third roll-off. Coming up next, the girls take to the lanes. Our first look at the number 2 seed Haley Rubin out of Brandon, South Dakota, and she'll face the number 3 seed Jessica Davies out of Cape Coral, Florida. That's coming up next here live on Extra Frame. Then we'll have a short break here and another set of 4 matches scheduled to begin at 5 Eastern Time. And Cameron Doyle will lead off our evening coverage, and he will face Greg Young in our first match of the afternoon session. So make sure you stop back here. Live coverage of the Teen Masters Grand Championships all day live on your online bowling channel. What's Greg looking to do here with this 10th frame?
Well, I think he's going to try to move back farther right where Jacob is. Looks like he's still staying with the Cyclone.
Well, yeah, there was some indecision there. I think
he's kind of like he's kind of like I was. Didn't know really what to do.
Look at this. He's stepping back off, and there's definitely a lot of indecision going on right now, because usually when you get up on the approach, you know exactly what you want to do.
And that's not what he wanted to do. But
nope.
Cameron, that brings up a good point for those that are just joining us or not familiar with the Teen Masters program. You were just limited to 2 choices for your strike ball.
Yeah, the Ebonite you can pick from a Pursuit or Pursuit S and a Cyclone. That's all you can throw on both patterns. It's really, really difficult because you don't know if you want to hit a ball with surface to throw on one pattern, then you have to change balls and throw that ball on another pattern. It's just crazy. It's a lot of smart decisions that come into the factor. I don't know. It's hard. I think it's fair though for everyone.
So Ettinger, game 2 in hand. The match will be tied at 1-1, and there will be a roll-off. So now Ettinger with some work as he plots his strategy for a roll-off. Ettinger is the higher seed. He'll have the opportunity to choose the order of the roll-off.
Oh, so he picks?
Yeah, number 2 seed. I believe Jacob would get the choice.
He'll pick that Greg goes second. Pretty sure.
You're going to call that one.
I'm going to call that one.
So opting to pick up the wood, Ettinger will be in the 220s. Last opportunity and last shot before the roll-off. This match is tied at 1-1. Earlier today, Aaron Uradovich defeated Cameron Doyle in a roll-off and is 1-0. Ashley Dunn defeated Melanie Hannon in a roll-off, is 1-0. And now we decide whether Ettinger or Young jumps on the board. 4 competitors in the boys and girls side. Each competitor will face all 3 in a best-of-2 matchup with the best record moving into our championship matches tomorrow. Catch that live on Extra Frame starting at 2 Eastern with the boys championship. That one goes high on Ettinger with his test shot. So final score there, 224. And here's tournament director and tournament founder, Gary Beck.
That leaves our match tied 1-1. We now move to sudden death to break the tie. 1 ball roll off until the tie is broken. Mr. Ettinger, you're the higher seed. You may choose who goes first. Greg Young will take the first shot.
Wow.
We will bowl until we break the tie.
That surprises me a lot.
Is that a situation where he feels Greg doesn't have a shot and force the issue?
Maybe it's a situation where he thinks Greg doesn't have a good look and he might get 6 or 7, make him feel more comfortable. But at the same time, if he strikes, he's got all the pressure on his shoulders.
So it was very interesting. We were here with Jason Couch last year and we had the same conversation. And very interesting as Ettinger.
He's going to make a good shot here. Pretty sure.
Puts it in Young's hands. Opening shot of the roll-off. Drills the pocket strike for Young. And now Ettinger must strike to stay alive.
All the pressure on him.
So was Greg Young playing in the weeds a little bit? Did he have the look?
Maybe he was bluffing.
He sure executed when it counted. And now all the pressure is on Jacob Ettinger. Must strike to extend the roll-off. The winner here earns a monumental first point. 3 matches, 3 roll-offs. Must strike to extend the roll-off.
I'm nervous.
Wow. Drills the pocket.
It's going to be as good as your guys' roll-off, Cameron.
That's the worst feeling in the world when you go up there and pure one and he does it too. I felt like an idiot. I went up there and I threw the second one and I was just yelling. And then he strikes 2 and you look like an idiot.
Well, you've got to expect that your opponent's going to strike, right? I mean, that's...
Yeah.
It's a roll-off round 2. Greg Young to start. Young won the first game 195-182. Ettinger stormed back in game 2, 224-144. Each player struck in the opening round of the roll-off. As we move now to round 2, and a train announcement going on next door, so Greg will take the opportunity to reset. We're live at Grand Central Terminal, steps from 42nd Street, Midtown Manhattan. Team Masters Grand Championships. Third match, third roll-off. Round 2 starts with Young. Little shaker, so a little flush, little shaker.
Yeah, I thought he still had a pretty good look from in. I think he was testing some things. He was trying to mess up Jacob. He was trying to do a bunch of different things, but he knew he had that in his back pocket that he could always go to and at least hit the pocket. Whether it carried or not was just a matter of luck, really, but he's got the first 2 in the roll-off, and now Jacob needs another strike to keep it going.
Wow.
Drills it. Quality strike. Gentlemen, the roll-off rolls on to round 3.
Same as ours. So Greg was a little high flush, and then he was a little swisher. So this shot, anything could happen.
It's good stuff.
3:30 Eastern Time here in New York City, as you see the good citizens of New York. To the right is Grand Central Terminal. To the left is 42nd Street, Midtown Manhattan. A special lane has been installed inside Vanderbilt Hall, and we have a match, a roll-off to decide the winner. Young, round 3. Nothing but X.
It's like a game of horse, Mike J.
Interesting that Young didn't have a look. He's drilled the pocket 3 times. Ettinger had the look. Kind of went back and forth as he had some room in the 10th frame, and now it's been nothing but strikes. Who's going to blink first?
I don't know.
Great action here at Grand Central Terminal. We're glad you're watching it live on the online bowling channel. Ettinger must strike to get to round 4.
Oh, he missed. Wow.
Oh, but it held and he carried. 3 apiece. Roll off, rolls on.
I would like to see a roll-off go for like 14 days straight. What would Gary do then?
They'd kick us out, and
like me and Greg were talking, like if it comes down to roll-off, we might just throw it in the gutter for 2 weeks.
Cameron Doyle joins the booth, and it's Mike J. Laneside with Jason Thomas, and Elise Bolton is working the sideline for us, and she'll have an interview with our winner, should we find one today.
I don't know.
Young, Ettinger.
Someone will mess up in the next 2 shots.
Roll off number 4.
Oh, double dribbled.
Somebody coughed in the middle of his right when he was coming down, and I think that distracted him.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you hear it?
I heard it. I heard it.
So 8.
Maybe it was on purpose.
He's looking around.
So now Ettinger taking a little bit of time. 9's a winner for Jacob Ettinger. 7, and Greg Young will pull a rabbit out of a hat.
I mean, you could see him flinch he heard that, and he came up out of that shot, and was lucky to hit the head pin.
Yeah, it was.
We saw this happen last year with Tommy Genova against A.J. Johnson. Tommy got 8.
AJ got 7.
And A.J. got up and got 7. So
he's real capable of getting 7, but he's real capable of striking.
For the win.
Oh,
wow. 9's enough. Jacob Ettinger, 1-0, defeats Greg Young in a 4th roll-off.
So now it's between me and Greg. Whoever wins goes. Whoever
So that
loses
means
is done.
it's a very, very pressure-packed match coming up. That'll lead our afternoon session. Cameron Doyle, 0-1, will face Greg Young, 0-1.
Wow, a little nervous already.
Thank you so much for stopping by. We appreciate chatting with you, and enjoy lunch that
I will.
Pop Sean brought by. And we look forward to a really exciting match coming up at 5.
Yep. All right, see you guys.
That's Cameron Doyle, and we look for him to face Greg Young in a virtual elimination match, and that'll come up about 5 Eastern time here as we are with you at Grand